Come in, come in. Welcome, ladies, and
Welcome.
welcome. So, we are super excited to have you join us at the Aligned and Thriving from Overwhelm to Overflow Summit. We're super excited about this one. We put in a lot of work to make sure that we brought some inspiration and motivation to women who are climbing the corporate ladder, building businesses, like whatever you're doing in this season. Um, to rebrand yourself, brand yourself, or not even a rebrand, right? To get in alignment. We created this for you to have, to be inspired, to be motivated, and to be amongst other like-minded women. So we're excited to have this conversation with you today. And I am Zana, and we have Dwayne here as well. We are co-founders of TGD Consulting, but before we get started, okay, we want to go ahead and set some attention here, okay? We want to start with some breath work. So let's go ahead and place one hand on your stomach, the other on your chest, and let's go ahead and take 2 to 3 deep breaths in and out, okay? Okay, so I hope that was just relaxing for you guys as it was for us. It's a practice that we've been trying to be more mindful of because we know that breathing is the start of a lot of things. It's a mindfulness activity, but we don't realize when we are like going, and doing, like we're not even breathing properly. We're not even breathing properly to help us just process things, to think with clarity. So wanted to do that. And then before we also start, I'm getting familiar with these whiteboards here. I'm going to set up an affirmation that I want all of us to start with. That way we set the intentions for this summit. Um, Again, the goal is for you to walk away with resources that you can utilize in your day to day to stay aligned and thriving. Okay. And we want to make sure we start with some intention here. Let's see.
Yes, and our goal too is not about us doing more, but being intentional and being aligned, and being aligned with who we are and who we are supposed to be when it comes to walking in our purpose. So we are excited to be able to help you towards that path of alignment.
Yes.
Not even just that, like one of the things I was thinking, and I know we've been saying this word a lot, right? Survival, right? And a lot of us are like literally out here surviving, guys. We are out here surviving, just like getting by day, but how long is that sustainable, right? So I love the affirmations that Donna created for us, because survival mode is not sustainable. And I think we all, as a whole entirety, the world, we're starting to feel it more because
Yeah.
just the way of the economy. But we are feeling like we are surviving and it is exhausting. So let's get out of that exhaustion. Let's get past the roadblocks, the challenges, and let's get into alignment and thrive for sure.
Yeah. So repeat after me, ladies. I lead with intention and alignment.
I lead with intention and alignment.
I build wealth with overflow.
I build wealth with overflow.
Yes. And wait, make sure you grab a piece of paper and a pencil. Okay. A pencil, a pen, whatever you need. And write this down as well. I want you to challenge yourself to say this every day.
Yes, guys. So again, we are excited to have you here on the Align and Thriving Summit. One of the things that we want to share with you is why we even decided to do the summit in the first place, and also to welcome you after we did that amazing breath work by Donna. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are super excited to have you here. The goal for you while joining the summit is for you to, if you have came on this summit feeling like you've been in a place of burnout, feeling underlined, feeling like you're stuck, once you leave this summit, our goal for you is to apply the tips and strategies and insight that we give you, so that way you can leave the summit feeling more aligned and feel like you're in a place of that you're in a place of thriving, right? But also, one of the things that we want to make sure that you're doing is like realize that that alignment doesn't look like hustle. Alignment doesn't look like constantly doing, adding more things to the plate. As we mentioned, alignment looks like you feeling like you're moving with ease and flow and purpose, right? Feeling moving with harmony. So one of the things that we want to make sure that you're doing outside of the summit is moving. We want to cut that out. So one of the things that we want to make sure that you're doing when you leave the summit is that you're moving in a place of harmony, right? You're moving in a place of harmony, and you're creating a business that runs without you, and you're building a legacy and building wealth and impact that makes sense, right? It aligns with your purpose. So again, you're going to leave here today with stepping into alignment, purpose, and legacy. And we are replacing the hustle and grind culture. So one of the reasons why we wanted to do this summit in the first
Mhm.
place, we've been there, right?
Yeah.
Um, I am a really great person, a great example of a person that experiences burnout and loves to add things on their plate, right? I
Yeah.
love to just constantly add. I'm a type of person that I'm a creative, and I'm a type C and type A person, right? So I can be creative. I can come up with like different strategies. I'm gonna do it, right? But also one of the things that I realize is like when I'm constantly doing, like I don't pay attention to that. And then my body breaks down, my mind, my mental, my physical. And then I'm like in a place of to where I'm like extreme exhaustion, right?
Mhm.
Extreme exhaustion to where I'm like literally a walking zombie. But I know I have to get up, I have to move, right? I have to do the things that I need to do as a mom, as a business owner, as a wife. But slowly but surely, after losing our grandmother, that slowly changed for me. I wasn't able to shake it. I wasn't that strong person that could just push through any and everything. I needed to reset. I needed to sit back and realign because I was moving outside of alignment, outside of purpose. I started to feel like that. And grief definitely brought up some childhood traumas and triggers that didn't necessarily, well, I knew they were there. I knew they were there. I was healing
The
from them. I thought,
numbness.
huh?
Yeah, the numbness of
The
life. You were like,
numbness,
yeah.
right. The numbness allowed me to not think about it, right? Constantly doing, the constantly, being on, being mommy, being business owner, being wife. And so that numbness made me not realize that until I really I was forced to sit. God said, girl, sit down. And he kept telling
Hmm.
me to sit down, and I wasn't listening. And then he made me sit down. Okay. And I said, okay, God, I got you. And within that, like, I started pouring more into like my mindset, pouring more into my relationship with God over the past couple of years, really connecting with him on a deeper level, connecting with myself on a deeper level, realizing that I still have a lot of work to do in certain places when it comes to self-worth and building more confidence as an entrepreneur and business owner. These are things that I'm now 10 years into. I'm technically, right, a seasoned entrepreneur. But these life experiences and the things that I've been experiencing has made me realize, girl, you aren't as seasoned as you believe to be. No, and I am that girl. I'm that girl, right? I am that girl. But I realized that there's a lot more mindset work that I needed to do. So here we are today with the summit. And Donna, I would love for you to share where you felt like you were, because I know
Yeah.
that we have similarities in our journey and story, but we both experience different things to where we realize, okay, this is not working. Like, and before you do that, like the past 2 years we have taken a seat back with business and we kind of slowed down in that sense, right? And within that, before we did that, we was on track for a six. We was like Donna says were a six-figure business. We
We were like
was like
$1,000 off, by
thousand
like a
dollars
couple
short.
$1,000 off. Yes.
Right. We was a few $1,000s short of being a six-figure business. And we were just I mean, that year was a good year for us. We was grinding.
Yeah.
But we felt the burnout after, and especially with losing our grandmother. And so we want six-figure businesses to continue to scale, to
Hmm.
continue to elevate, not reach that momentum, and then fall because of burnout, fall because too many things are on your plate, fall because your mindset isn't right, fell because, and I'm not saying I say fall, I'm not gonna say fall, or fall because just like things aren't in alignment, right? It's just not in alignment. And success doesn't look like it is not money, right? To some people it is. I think that could be based on perspective,
But
but
it's not, because there's people with money who are miserable. There's a
right,
lot of people with
right.
money who are miserable and rotten on the inside, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so success doesn't equate to that. So we want you guys to know that success look like feeling like you're aligned and thriving, and especially as women, especially as moms, I think it's really, really, really important for us to be in a place of alignment and thriving. I actually saw a video, I think Donna, you posted it today, this morning, that talked about it was like kind of like highlighting the things women need and men need. And it was like
Hmm.
a man that sleeps in and is not starting his day by the early bird gets the worm, not
Yeah.
starting his day by
Yeah.
7 o'clock. Like, are you leading? And for women, we need rest.
Right.
We
Yeah.
cannot constantly go, 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 move, 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 and be in a
Mhm.
masculine state like men. We need rest. We cannot operate
Yeah.
off of men can operate off of no sleep. It's
Yeah.
studied, right? It's studied, it's
Yeah.
proven. They don't need as much rest as we do to replenish. So this summit is for one, for you to be able to reset, for you to replenish, for you to think differently.
Yeah.
And all of the ladies we have joining us, I mean, they are amazing women. They are doing great things. They are thriving. They are pivoting. They are thinking differently within their businesses, right? So whether you're just starting, you're a six-figure business owner, you have been in business past six figures and you still feel like you're in a survival mode, this is for you. Okay. So again, hustle does not equate to alignment, and success does not equate to fulfillment. Just because you may feel successful, like Donna said, you may
Mhm.
have money, you may have the cars, you may have everything. That doesn't, some people don't feel
Yeah.
fulfilled from it, right? And that doesn't equate to fulfillment, right? Um,
Mhm.
so I want to we want to speak directly to the women in the room that is successful but tired. Okay.
Yeah.
Successful but tired, is visible but disconnected, right?
Yeah.
Or you may have a business and you aren't visible, right? You want to be seen and you want to be heard. And then
Mhm.
also the woman that is building something but questioning the costs.
Mhm. Yes, that's who we talking to. Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna be real, we're gonna be real. Right? We're gonna be real. The build that is building something, but it's questioning the cost. Okay. And me and
Yeah.
Donna have been there time and time
Yeah.
and time
And
again.
I would say that's where I realized, okay, I was out of alignment because I was questioning the costs, right? And for me, I'll be quick to do that. And that's always been my thing. Like, I'll start something. I'm like, wait, questioning the cost. Wait, this isn't working out.
I mean, you do
Not
that.
working.
Donna will do that all the time. And I didn't realize it.
Yes. Yes. And it's like, girl, like what do you mean? We know that success is, or not success. I don't want to use that word, but when you're growing, it's uncomfortable. So it doesn't mean like you have to question what's happening. What's happening is supposed to happen. And for me, I was like, I'm the person who is like, I want to control what's going on in my life. Not only
Mhm.
that, I equated money to success partly, right? It was like I'm a money motivated person. Like I've had years of, in sales, making good money. And it was like that was one of my motivators. Like, but it's like girl, that I mean, just because you're not making the dollar amount that you think doesn't mean that you're not successful. It doesn't mean that you're not showing up to the best of your capabilities for the season that you're in. And I think that's important to realize the season that you're in. And I didn't have clarity on that. Like as Dwayne mentioned, we were hitting six figures, right? In the midst of doing this, Dwayne had just had a newborn, and I was like, "Am I what third trimester pregnant with our second
Not
child?"
just that though, Donna.
Yeah,
This was her third pregnancy. She has two kids now. So that was a
yeah,
whole multiple
yes,
things. Go ahead.
yes. In that season too, I had a miscarriage. It was a
Mm-hmm.
lot going on, and when you think about the go, 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 and it's like, I'm like, wait, I'm healthy. It's like, girl, no, you're not. Not your
Mm-hmm.
inside. Your body's telling you something. So that was really a wake up for me when I had that miscarriage. Didn't even know I was pregnant. Didn't even. I was like,
So speaking about walking around numb, so I didn't realize I was walking around numb, but I realized I was walking around exhausted.
yeah,
Donna, she will walk around
uh,
exhausted and will push. Now I could push past exhaustion, but you would know. Like I would start slurring my words. You know, I'm
yeah,
tired. But I think over the past 3 years, 4 years, I was like, yeah, I can't hang with you, Donna. I gotta go to sleep. And Tiffany
yeah,
would be the one up. She would be moving, moving, moving. I'm like, girl. So it and
yeah,
then some people come to our team meetings. I'm like, and Donna's a person that she's always put together. Um, she's our image consulting, right? She makes sure that the brands look good. And she was coming to the calls looking crazy. Like,
yeah,
and
over
one
there,
day she
over
came to the
there.
call, I said, girl, you think you're coming on the call looking like me? What's going on? And she was like, and I
Yeah,
had to type
and
out thinking that me saying that to her, she was like, okay. Because I was like,
yeah,
I was like, yeah, this is not Donna coming.
yeah. And in the midst of all of that, I ended up having a high risk pregnancy the third time, like
Mm,
gestational diabetes. That
her.
was very devastating. And that, I feel like, I don't know if the Lord was like, this is what's going to sit you the hell down. But that caused me to have to slow down in business because, like, gestational diabetes is nothing to play with. I was pricking my fingers 3 times a day. I had to go on a strict diet. Like I was like, Lord, I do not want to go on insulin. So I was like being very mindful of the rest I needed, especially when you're growing a baby. But still trying to be there and support Dwayne and show up. And I think that's one of the great things about working with my twin sister is when one of us are like, kind of going through it down, and like we have the other one to kind of lean up to hold the business. But once I had the baby, months after having the baby, our grandmother gets sick. She's in the hospital. Everything kind of like fell from there, and that was like the real wake up call for us. Like that we can't do this no more.
Absolutely.
That loss. So here we are 2025. We're about to be in 2026 in a few days, okay? And since then, like I've like relocated, I moved, I had to surrender to God, like got closer to him, surrendered to him, because again, that control, I was like, Lord, why are you doing this? I don't want to do this. Like literally, I was at the point to where I was like, I don't want to do business no more. I don't want to be married no more. I really don't want to be a mom most days, but it's like I had to do it because motherhood is like something that is so important to me. And when you grow up and chaos and dysfunction with your parents, you want to make sure when you become a parent that you are like set the bar. Some people follow the same path, but it's like I have this like sometimes I feel like I have to overcompensate in motherhood because I want my
Your
children to
childhood
have
traumas.
great childhood. Yeah. And that's my childhood trauma showing up. So things like that help me realize too, like, girl, you have work to do because the only thing that's really in alignment right now is motherhood. And that's like you are more than just a mom. Okay.
That's
You are
the
more
most right. I think too though that I love that you said that you're more than just a mom because I'm getting to the space where I'm like, okay, Dwayne, let's reel
yeah.
it back. But I realized that you had said something new. I wanted to Lord, what you said something and I can't remember what you said. And I wanted to piggyback on that. Um he'll probably come back to me. But needless to say, motherhood, you're not just a mom, you're not just a woman, you're not just
Yeah.
anything. You're more, right? You're for one. Oh, you said something about control. That's
Yes.
one of the things too we were doing. Like we were operating the business. Yes, we were believing in God and having scriptures and making sure it was in alignment, but we wasn't showing up making sure that God led us in that six figures. We
Yeah.
weren't. Like that wasn't God led at all. I mean, it was
Hmm.
like I felt like we knew that God was blessing us, but as far as that being the forefront and the center of how we operated as a business, that wasn't the case. So that was out of alignment, right? What and I want to talk to women that believe in God, okay? Now, if you're coming on the summit and you don't, that's perfectly fine. We respect everybody and every religion. I specifically want to speak to women that believe in God. We can't operate from a place of like, I mean, yes, the universe is here, okay? But it's more to how we maneuver in life and our purpose than just the universe, right? I feel like it's God is the only way we are here.
Power.
Different is God, right? God knew what we wanted. He knew who we were before we even knew who we were. And when we start really walking in that path, that's when we get into the alignment. That's when we get into the alignment. So we want to definitely share also too how being in alignment changed our leadership because just recently this year, like I'm becoming a more um emotional and tuned leader. I'm becoming a more um faith-based becoming more of a faith-based leader. I'm now sharing my testimony and my that story of like just like how life happens. And a great example of that is like speaking of finances, we live with my father-in-law for the third time. Okay. Speaking of that, like that's not something I would necessarily share, right? But when I'm walking in purpose and working in alignment,
Yeah.
sharing the story is just going to be a part of the testimony, right? It's going to help somebody else know that they too, even though they may be back in their parents' house. And we actually had a podcast interview, and the late that was our connection. She's back at
Yeah.
her child. Okay, so plenty of people are moving back with their parents. People are shacking up to where they have roommates. It happens, right? So being able to share authentic stories, I think is important, and I think that is one of the things that I'm continuing to do and grow as a leader. But the emotional intelligence is really important for me, but then also working on knowing that I was in unalignment and knowing that self-worth wasn't aligned with where business was, right? And I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but we mentioned that we were a six-figure business, right? Mindset wasn't six figures. The mindset
Yeah.
wasn't six figures. The business was, it's too
Yeah.
it like so how can you operate? And this is why one of the things, Donna, it was something else that you mentioned about wanting to control things. It's like God doesn't bless you with things that you aren't equipped and ready for, right? Because you
Mhm.
aren't equipped for them. So he takes you through these challenges and journeys to help build that stamina, help build that grit, help build that perseverance, excuse me, perseverance. um but well, how do you feel like Donna alignment has changed your leadership over the past year? And also, guys, we've been in a before you do that, Donna, we've been in a mastermind that's been helping us with our mindset. We meet
Mhm.
weekly. And there like for a little bit of the year when I was working full time, I wasn't able I feel like I was out of alignment because I wasn't pouring into that mastermind like I needed to. But I've learned so much throughout the time in the mastermind over the past year, and it has really been super, super, super beneficial to me. But also choosing that mentorship
Mhm.
helped me become more aligned. Help me become
Yeah.
more help me realize what's really important to me.
Yeah. So for me, was what like getting out of the mindset of perfectionism, right? And not only that, like just shifting to more of a logical mind versus an emotional mind. Like, because one of the things for me is like I'm a feeler, I'm an empath, I connect with people, like I feel, and sometimes it's like, okay, feel okay, but result in logic. And I always come up with a solution. Like I'm always a solution based person, but it's like I internalize the feel, and it's like, girl, you don't have to keep that in and internalize it. You don't have to do that, right? Excuse me,
Donna, you mentioned that, and that's something that we actually, I don't know if you realized that before we did the therapy together, because that's something your therapist mentioned. So one of the
yeah,
things we realized too in business is like Donna is more the emotional filler and I'm more of the logical filler.
yeah,
But I feel like it's starting to reverse. I feel like I'm starting to because I'm getting out of this numbness. I don't know, or if I've been in numbness for so long, I'm starting to feel the
yeah,
feel. But I'm like, I don't like this. I can't shake the feeling. But that's something we have realized too. Is like so one, and that's something that we sometimes we'll bump heads about as business owners, but we didn't realize it was because we coming from two different places, right? Coming
mm-hmm,
coming from more of a logical standpoint, less emotion, and Donna was coming from more emotion, less logical. So it was
mm-hmm,
like now it's reversing to where I'm starting to feel more, which is great, right? Because feeling is great, and
yeah.
Donna is starting to become more logical. So that's another shift too. Hmm.
Yes. And then like just getting out of the mindset of perfectionism is like the day is not going to be perfect. Like we are human beings first, right? We're not robots, right? Not only that, like when you have other factors, like when you add on care, being a caregiver, whether you're taking care of children or taking care of elderly parents or taking care of a husband, taking care of someone, right? And we can have this idea of what we want life to look like, and it's like that's an illusion. It's not real. It's something we made up in our head. Talk about control. It's not real. So it's like I had this idea of perfectionism. Like I want my day to go like this, and if it doesn't go like this, like it's not working, I'm not doing, it's like, but that's like the performing mentality is like perform, do, and that's not sustainable. And I had to let go of the idea of the day is going to go perfect. No, it's not. Like it's not going to go perfect. Like if I don't check all the things off my list today, I can move it to tomorrow. It's okay. Like I can move it to the next day. It's okay. As long as I have look at it from not from a day-to-day thing, because as we realize in this season, consistency is not a day-to-day thing. I
It's
mean,
so we.
like results, you don't see results from day-to-day activity. You see it from being consistent. That's what I meant to say. From
Mhm.
consistency, from just showing up and being okay with, okay, today this I was able to check one thing off my list. That's okay today. Like for an example, like I just got over the flu, and it's like we had a live the other day, and it's like, did I come to the live looking how I wanted to look? Completely no, but it's okay. Like I
Mhm.
showed up, and that was good enough, right? It was good enough because was the message was to get in front of people so they can know about our summit, so they can be inspired, so they can be engaged with what we're doing, right? And it's like that's the goal, that's the mission. As long as that's and that's good enough, right?
Yes,
And just
yes,
being
good.
okay with
So
good enough. Yeah.
Donna's been in that space too. It's like I'm showing up better, so it's good enough for me, and I love that. I'm still working. I'm like, no, we can do better. We can do better. But that we gonna be working on that. So
Yes.
so yes, our legacy started shifting when we stopped building to prove and started building to pour. So also pouring into ourselves. Okay.
Mhm.
That's one thing I was not doing. I would get up, what I gotta do today, what I gotta do, who I gotta do for it, and it's like, no, pour into yourself.
Right. So that brings us to the one of the fixing mentality, getting away
Mm-hmm.
from the CEO, fixing, managing, improving, and shifting to the visioning, sustaining, and stewarding. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the shift.
Yes. Yes,
The,
those are the shifts. And some of the old paradigms too that we had when it comes to just like the shift from CEO to legacy builder, because we want to build a legacy. We just don't want to operate as CEOs, right? Because I mean, we're gonna be a CEO until we retire. Are we gonna sell the business? Like we want to build legacy. Legacy, even with selling, you create a business to either sell it or to pass it down, right? So one of the few of the old paradigms we had was metrics only, right? It was just like, okay, we're getting the clients, we're getting the calls,
Heavy on metrics.
we're visible on social media, specifically Instagram, okay? Because
Yeah.
we done a great job with building our Instagram platform.
Yeah.
We're like, girl, no, that doesn't. That's not success. Like being
Mhm.
able to have people engage with you on social media, that's not success. Being able to like have people come to your website, like that's not success, right? So the old paradigm was metrics only. Constant grind, as we mentioned, just constant doing instead of being, and then
Mhm.
the burnout being normalized. Like I was in the season of burnout every quarter. That's not normal, okay? And as
Paradigms, okay? The new paradigms that we started. Alignment as strategy. Because if you're not aligned, even if you like we said, you're making six figures plus, like if you're not in alignment, it's not sustainable. You're not going to keep it. Alignment needs to be the strategy. So that's what we started doing. If it's not aligned, it's not in the cards. Okay. Capacity over chaos. Life is chaotic. There's no way around it. But it's like knowing that you have the capacity for this, that, setting your boundaries. That way, excuse me. That way you can stay in the flow of ease and flow throughout the chaos that life is. It's a beautiful, it's beautifully chaotic, right?
Mhm.
And the impact over ego, like removing self from situations, because yes, we want to make sure that we are not going them, right? We don't want to be back there, but it's like feeling, feel it, go to the logical mind, remove the ego from it because it's not about us. It's the picture is bigger. It's the purpose is bigger. It's we're not at the center of that. God is, right, and then we move around him. Um, so we want you to ask yourself today, and this is a journal prompt that you can actually add in your journal. You don't have to answer it now on this call today, but make sure you do it by end of day, end of week. Like, what version of success are you releasing? Okay. After watching the summit, let us know. And you can even, if you want to share it on social, Facebook, tag us in it, TG&E Consultant, do that. But ask yourself, what version of success are you releasing? Okay. Because that's the goal. That's what we want you to do. All right, now
Mhm.
we talked about how we went from CEO mode to legacy building, our legacy building identities, and we want to kind of wrap it up with how we went from survival to overflow. Okay, because survival, Dwayne's going to talk more about what survival looks like and how we were in that, and then I'll wrap it up with the overflow of what we're doing as legacy builders.
Yeah, so I feel like a few of the things we were definitely doing was like just like as Donna mentioned, I'm a fixer, right? I am solution based.
Yeah.
I try to be. So because I'm being in my feels a little bit more, I find myself teeter tottering in the solution base, but that's neither here or there. So I'm typically fixer. Okay. So I'm fixing the problems, fix. Why do I have to
Let's talk
fix?
about how that's real masculine energy. That's very masculine
Very
energy.
masculine, very. And I'm trying to be more in the feminine. Okay. Speaking of being in alignment, being more in the feminine. So just being, very masculine and fixing. What do I have to do next? How do I do this? How do we grow the business here? So that was really heavy on me. Heavy. Okay. Um and I realized not only this that equates to how I show up in personal life too, because me and Donna have been the fixers for a lot of people online, right?
Yeah.
Like the go-to people, and I didn't realize how that translated to just me doing that in business, right? Managing. Donna was a I don't know if she would say I'm a micromanager. I don't think I am, but I don't know if she's sometimes think I'm micromanaging, but the constant managing, is that energy too. I think Donna, there was a point in time to where because Donna's closer to family, she's like was more like the go-to.
Yeah.
She was closer to family. She was like the go-to person. So she was in the business, but she was managing family and I'm managing business and we just managing. And it's just like, who told you to do
Yeah.
that? Who said that was your I mean, obviously who told you to do that? Obviously we want to grow and start a business, but and not necessarily for Donna. Like who told you that was your
Mm-hmm.
task to continue to manage people and not we
Yeah.
realize that God put us on this earth, me and Donna, to be those people for each
Yeah.
for people, right, per persons, but with understanding boundaries and understanding priorities. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
that has to go to the we can't do that, and then proving like having to prove ourselves as business owners, having to prove yourself to your husbands or to whoever is watching you grow your business, like having to let them know like this is working, like having to constantly prove and show and create results. That is tiring, okay? And we
Yeah.
was definitely doing that.
Mhm.
So those were some of the old energies that we are removing. We removed,
Yeah.
right? And I said we are removing because we decided to remove them, but it's a process, right? These are habits that we form. So we
Yeah.
have to break those habits, and just doesn't happen overnight. But the strategies and work that we've been doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, is going to get us to that consistency to where we can fully say we're no longer doing these things in entirety.
Yes. Yes. And then how we are switching and to get in more into an alignment and in tuned is just making more intentional choices. Like that's the word for 2026. Intentionality. Okay. If it don't make sense, it
Mm-hmm.
can't happen, right? And intentional choices that we're making is like time blocking on our calendars, right? Making sure that we have our day time blocked. And being okay with, okay, the baby sick today. Okay, let me swap this over here. Intentionality, like it has to make sense, right? Creating more aligned opportunities for ourselves. So if it doesn't feel good, it's not for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being just more in tune with our intuition, being more in tune with our intuition,
Yeah,
and
and
being
that aligns with the scarcity too, just the scarcity
yeah,
thinking. So I want to piggyback on that because I missed this some of the survival things that we were doing, like the scarcity thinking, over giving. Like
mhm,
Donna, you were big for that one. I think
yeah,
sometimes I would fall in that, but it's like, no, we ain't doing that. We ain't giving
yeah,
that. Like so, the over giving, the scarcity thinking. I feel like we both kind of suffer from that, but one of the things that and reactive decisions. Um, we've had to fire a client before, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Donna, but you had
client,
that made
client.
me think about that. You had to fire a client before, a couple of them, and they were big contracts. And I don't necessarily feel like that was reactive decision making because there was plenty of things that happened during that time frame that was just like, okay, this is, um, yeah, it doesn't work. But with that being said, like just not making decisions based on, just being reactive and really thinking about certain things. But I'm sorry,
Mhm.
I just brought that up.
No,
And I,
no, that's important too because it's like, what's the bottom line, right? When you have, yes, we don't want people to just show up and treat us any kind of way, right? But it's like from the legacy building aspect, it's like, okay, here's the timeline. This isn't working, but I'm gonna give this joke a 3 more months so we can hit this goal and just be more logical with those decisions. And that's a lesson we learn in business, right?
Mhm.
Um, and receiving without guilt, that is something that me and Dwayna struggle with being open to receive. It's speaking for myself, it's like, no, I have to do, I have to give. And it's like, girl, no, no, you don't. Be open to receiving so you can get your blessings. Because one of the things we don't realize, and my therapist said this to me, is like, you can be blocking someone else's blessing by not receiving what they're trying to give.
Mhm.
You could be blocking their blessing and your blessing. So just being open to receive and don't feel guilty about it. If God has sent someone in your path to pour into you, to provide you with opportunities, to help you get aligned, receive that and don't feel bad about it. Okay. So another question we want you to ask yourself, okay? Where have you been surviving in a season that's asking you to expand? Okay, so that's another journal prompt that we want you guys to have. Like, where have you been surviving in a season that's asking you to expand? Okay. All right. Now, also, here's some more affirmations that you guys can utilize in your day to day. Okay, because I know we wanted to introduce you to the summit. We wanted to talk a little bit about what the summit has to offer and what it has to give. But also, we want to make sure that we're leaving you with tools in this section here for what you can do to move forward. Okay. Um, And ask yourself, I am not behind. No, excuse me. Declare. These are things you need to declare. I'm not behind. I'm not late. I'm the legacy. Okay. Um,
And then things to ask yourself, Donna, things to ask yourself is one survival pattern that, or things to declare today. It's like,
yeah.
what is one survival pattern that you're releasing today? One survival pattern. We gave you a few of them, right? That we've done. Um, so one survival pattern that you're releasing in one way, you will lead overflow. One way that you will lead with overflow. Okay. So ask yourself those two things, write it down, get the answers. If you want to share it on social, great. If you want to share it in your journal, perfect. If you want to just respond to us via email, that would be perfect too. Just communicate with us and share with us, and we would love to hear your insight. So, so oh, you got the board up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What are
And
you?
then last thing, yes, and lastly, we want you to ask yourself, okay, what version are you releasing? Once you're done with the summit, or before you even start, like set your intention, your goal for the summit. What version of you are you releasing? Right. We invite you guys during the summit to watch with intention, to take notes intuitively. Okay, take notes intuitively and engage with us, as the one that said, via email and social media. All handles at TGND Consulting. Okay, we are super excited for you guys to get in alignment. Okay, remember, you don't need permission to lead differently. You are the legacy, and it begins now. Okay.
Yes. And before we get off, guys, thank you so much for that, Donna. Before we get off, the goal for the summit, as we mentioned, okay, is to reconnect yourself to yourself, okay? Reconnect you to yourself, to expand your vision and to normalize aligned leadership, okay? So we encourage you to be present. We don't encourage you to be perfect, right? We encourage you to be present. We don't encourage perfection. And as Donna said, take notes, enjoy, and we look forward to hearing how you enjoy the summit. And remember, you don't need permission to lead differently. You don't need permission to lead differently. You are the legacy, and it begins now. It begins now. It begins today. Okay. Begins today. So thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy the next topics. We discuss with our amazing speakers. Coming up next is Angelica. And I mean, a breath of fresh
You're in
air.
for a treat.
Beautiful inside and out. We hope you enjoy.